Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Friday, 3 p.m., September 11th, 2020. It's time for another live stream. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of the week. Although I think for a lot of you, I think a lot of people that are on like hybrid models and stuff, people are going on like Thursday for school, and so Fridays are off. Or people are in college, Fridays usually don't have class anyway. So maybe Thursdays was the end of the week for you, but Friday's the end of the week for me. And feeling pretty accomplished. Feeling very tired, but also very accomplished. I got in a good run this morning. Felt good about it. Felt great for the most part. And I didn't get rained on. And now it's like pouring and super cold and just altogether nasty. Just not very nice out. And so I was glad to get a workout in and didn't get soaked. So I enjoyed it. Bert, I guess, am I late? No, it's 3 o'clock. You got here on time. I started, I think, a couple seconds early today, but I figure, that's okay. I try not to be too early, but I think I was right at about 3 o'clock. I've seen in the chat, a lot of people are already talking about the fires, and I saw a map of them today on the local news, and there was like a little fire icon, like anytime it was near a fire. Sorry, that's my phone that's doing that. But there's a fire icon, and there was just it was like the West Coast is just covered in fire icons, and I was just like, I knew that they were massive and there were multiple of them, and but now it just seems like it's all bleeding into each other, which it may be, I guess. I don't know, but hopefully you guys are doing okay. No one's too affected by it. I know that the skies are weird. I mean, it's like end of days kind of stuff over there. I mean, it's been like that end of days have been like that all year, I know, but particularly with the weird color sky, the poor air quality, the smoke just covering everything up. I feel for you guys, and hopefully you guys are okay. Stevie76 says, where were you on 9/11? WashU, your family in New Jersey? Yeah, so I was already I graduated in 2001. So I think at this point, I'm not sure if I had started my job at the lab yet. I may have, but I wasn't working, so I don't think I was yet. I may have been like unemployed at the time in between jobs. This was around the same time. We talked earlier this week about the 4 for $10 frozen pizzas and the 10 for $1 ramen noodles that I would eat. This was that time. And I remember waking up because I was just sleeping. I was like being a night owl and like reading books to the deep into the morning, and then just sleeping all like I guess morning. And then so like I woke up and things had already happened. So I think someone called me and turned the TV on. I don't remember. But I was in our apartment, and our apartment didn't have cable, and this was in the days before and people had like antennas or like digital antennas. So like we had a TV, but we used it for watching DVDs and playing video games only. And so I heard stuff on the news, and then when I heard about all the stuff going on, I remember I went over to a friend's house in Central West End in St. Louis, and I watched. I spent the rest of the day there, just on their couch, kind of just very. Not the rest of the day. I spent a lot of the day there, just kind of watching everything that was unfolding. But yeah, my family was in New Jersey at the time, and I remember from the towers. My dad used to take me to the towers quite a bit. It was an area that we enjoyed going. We frequented. He would. I don't know why, but he took me there. I feel like he took me there more than like the Empire State Building, or like the Statue of Liberty, or the Chrysler Building, or any of the other, or like 30, like Rockefeller Plaza, like anywhere else. That's where my dad would tend to take me, or at least that's where I have memories of. And so, is an area that I feel like he just liked going. But at no point was I really terribly concerned about it. And I don't remember how soon I was able to get in touch with people. Because remember, this was 2001. Everyone had cell phones, but like they weren't like everyone wasn't like constantly on them like we are now. And so it was a little bit different in that regard. And so that's where I was. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. So yeah, so that's it. All right. So let's see who else we got. Let's see who we have in the live stream today. We got Luis Becerra coming in from TJ, and which I didn't know that you guys were affected by the smoke down there too. Frank Lahoulier is here. JP, KCA. Let's see. Terrence Huey. Not really Hank Aaron's here. JC Lanier. Ryan P says, "Yo, what's going on? Got my SL20s in today. Awesome." All right. Word of the day. Someone asked me on Twitter the other day, or maybe yesterday, if like they thought like they saw like on a website the SL20s for 51 pounds, and asked me if that was a good deal. And I was like, is someone like throwing me a softball, or is someone like actually asking if that's a good shoe? And I was pretty enthusiastic in saying that they should go for it. Let's see. Matt852 says, "Happy Friday." Chris Dyke says, "Hey folks, another missed day of running for me this week. Not worth it with the smoke." Yeah, I don't know. How are you guys dealing with that? Are people trying to run? Are you running with like face coverings on to help filter the smoke, or what's going on with that? Kevin Bickerton says, "Hey Kofuzi, what's going on, Kevin? Good to see you again." Bert says, "Just watched the mail time video. My bail box was not that full as yours." Yeah. Mr. Random is coming in from London town. What's going on? My mom's here. Hi, Mom. How are ya? Let's see. Running Addict said, "I was deployed in the Navy on 9/11, and he will never forget." I can't imagine what that would have been like. Let's see. Who else said something about where they were? Oh, okay. No, that's not about 9/11. But Matt Ponzer says, "I'm from Blue Springs, Missouri, and when he was in high school, he used to have marching band competition in Ankeny, Iowa." I don't know if I've ever been to Ankeny, but it's a name that's familiar to me. So, Rainrunner talked about the air quality. Says the air is really terrible. Never experienced anything like it. I think that says a lot for the West Coast too, because I feel like most people that have lived on the West Coast for a while have experienced some sort of like air quality issue at some point due to fire. And that's like the thing that I've been hearing pretty universally from everybody is like, we've seen fires before, but we've never seen anything like this. So that's just really crazy. Running Addict says where he lives, the air is completely orange and smoke filled. Not fun to run in. Oof. Corey Vaillancourt says, "Are you enjoying trail shoes more now?" I think so, because I'm knowing what to look for a little bit more. And so I feel like most of like when you look up like trail shoe on YouTube or in Google, like the ones that pop up, those are not the ones that I'm going to like, because they're too trail for me. I like the ones in the hybrid category that like, you could probably get away with a running shoe here, but this will make you a little bit more comfortable when it's slippery out or if there's a couple extra rocks. Those are the kinds of trail shoes that I like. So like light trail shoes. And I've been enjoying them more because I have a lot of dirt roads out here. And I found a park that I can run through, which is not big and not very technical, but it's very steep, both uphill and downhill, and not that long. So it's like little bursts. So it's a lot of fun to run in. And there's also a river crossing in it, so it's kind of fun too. I haven't fallen in the river yet. Although yesterday, I was pretty sure I was going to lose it, because it had been raining so much here that the water level is very high and the river is moving much faster than it has been. And like one of the rocks, the sketchiest one, the one that's a little bit wobbly, was like almost completely covered with water. And I was like, there's that little spot of water. Do I put my foot on the submerged part of the rock where the footing might be a little bit more secure, or do I go for that little nubbin that's still sticking out above the water level? I went for the nubbin, and it was okay. But I've been having more fun. I just feel like it gives me a little bit more confidence to kind of like stomp through the trails and kind of go where I want to go. So I've been liking it. Shoes like the Boston 9, for example, which I really like. And like even the SL20, the Hyperion Tempo, and like the Atreyu shoe, like those on dirt roads, you're kind of like looking for the more buffed out spots, and so that's kind of a little bit less limiting. And so then I find myself like looking for road, and around here the roads are just really long and straight. The dirt roads tend to have a little bit more character to them in terms of uphill, downhill, some curves, and some scenery. So it's been a little bit more liberating that I can just kind of go wherever. Matt Fredericks is coming in from Fairfax, Virginia. Awesome. Cool. Metal 37 says, worked in labor and delivery in New Jersey within sight of the Twin Towers. Oh, lots of young widows delivered with us in the days and months afterwards. Bittersweet and heartbreaking births. I cannot imagine that. That is so crazy. So crazy. Yeah, I have I wasn't living here in the area. I was living in St. Louis, so literally 1,000 miles away at the time. But I just have so many memories of that space. And it's not there anymore. Or it's there, but I mean, yeah. Frank Lahulier says, have you ever tried cross-country skiing? I have not. I mean, I've done the thing where like you get off the lift and then you're like, no, I don't want to go down that one because it's like a double black diamond apparently, and I didn't read the map correctly. So I'm gonna try to cut across and find the other like single black or maybe like the blue square. So you're like, you're in your regular skis but like moving along. So I've kind of done that. I think I would really like it. And around here, people do cross-country ski. Like they'll go on the Heritage Trail when it's covered in snow. And when I run it in the winter, I see really thin tracks, and then I see snowmobile tracks. So people are on there. I'd like to get into it, but I don't think I'd be that upset if I didn't get a chance to try it. That's one of those things like camping for me. If someone else is like, hey, I got an extra pair of these things. You want to go? I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm in. And if someone's like, hey, we're going to go camping in a weekend, you should come. I'll be like, yeah, I'm in. But I'm never going to be the one to say like, how to go camping in Iowa. Like, I'm never going to search that. Or, like, how to start cross-country skiing. I don't know. I don't know why. Let's see. Real Eric M says, there was no air traffic for days following 9/11. The skies have been quiet for the past 5 months now with COVID. It's an eerie feeling. Yeah. I mean, here, we're not near any airports. But for when we first got here, I wouldn't see any of like the airplane trails, like those cloud trail things in the sky, ever, And then lately I've been seeing them more and more, and that's been kind of like, oh, an airplane, weird. Where's it going? Who's in there? So it has been strange. Martha says, Kofuzi, is that an aspen leaf on your shirt? There's a popular fall trail race in normal years called the Golden Leaf Half, and their logo looks like that. You'd love it. All downhill after first mile uphill. That does sound like a fun race, but it's not. This is BALEAF. It's one of those cheap brands on Amazon. So I ordered a whole bunch of stuff and it just came in last night. Not a whole bunch. I bought 2 long sleeve tops and some tights. And so, because it's just been cold here and I don't have any long sleeve stuff. And I was going to get TCA because TCA is normally my favorite. They're, I think, a UK brand, and they have really quality stuff that's really very cheap. And the logos aren't like super crazy. But for some reason, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully they're doing okay. But everything that you want to order from TCA in the US now has an extra $7 shipping charge on it. So I don't know. Hopefully that means that they're just out of inventory. And so like they're, trying to focus on their domestic customers or non-Amazon customers first. But so I was like, I'm not gonna pay $7 extra shipping on a top that costs like $16. So I trying some other stuff. The one that I ran in today was from a company I've never heard before. I don't know if it's even like really a company, but it's like a long sleeve tech material shirt. And this one's from Beleaf, BALEAF. I know they make a lot of shorts and like singlets and stuff, so I thought I'd give it a try. It's comfy, super comfy. But that's what the logo is. Let's see. Kyle M says, I think I've watched over 10 of your shoe reviews this week. Seriously suffering with the paradox of choice in my new shoe selection. But it's a great time to be a runner still, I would say. There may have been better, when races come back, then it'll be an even better time to be a runner. But we have a lot of great options available to us right now. B-Doc says, excited for trials of miles? I am. And like today's workout was a fartlek workout, getting up to threshold. I'm trying to do that by power. So running at threshold power for a couple of minutes at a time. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, let's see if I think I can hold this for 20 minutes. I think so. So, which in theory, if it's threshold power, I should be able to hold it for like more like 40. But anyway, so I'm feeling pretty confident about it. I don't know what my time is going to be, but it's not that important. I'm going to find, there's this like concrete loop that's down in Dyersville, like 5 minutes down the road, that I think is going to be pretty flat. So I'm going to try to do a couple of, I don't know how big the loop is yet. It's so new that it doesn't show up on like Google Maps. So I have to kind of like guess how big it is. So I don't know if I'll do, it'll probably be like, I don't know, maybe it's a half-mile loop. So it'll be a couple of loops to do a 5K on it. So, but I think it'll be fun. Ryan P said Colorado was smoky and 90 degrees and snow and freezing rain the next day. Yeah, you guys had a weird, wild swing. The snow helped the smoke big time, and hope Cali gets some rain. I hope so too. We have so much of it here right now, and everyone's pissed off at it here because it was like it's at the wrong time for the corn. According to my mother-in-law, she's been telling me about it, and so it's just gonna make the corn moldy, I guess. So and she's like, and cows can't eat moldy corn. I'm like, of course they can't. But yeah, so like if we had this kind of rain in July, it would have been really good for the corn, but getting it now is really annoying for the farmers. So like we're getting all this rain and we don't need it or want it. And there's other parts of the country that could really use it. I don't think it works that way, weather never works that way, but if only. Bert Leguest says, I created a route through a hilly forest half-mile out my door. Ooh, try to get the max number of vert out of it. I was able to gather 1,000 feet of vert over 10 miles. That's a good number. I like that ratio. 1,000 per 10. I feel like that's an amount that feels like you've run uphill, but at no point do you feel like you're really maxing out, right? I mean, assuming that's pretty like gradual and not like 2 bursts of 500 feet, because that'd be insane. But yeah, that's a good number. That's a good workout. Mr. Random says, I was living in New York City. My cousin told me about his walk home from Wall Street over the Brooklyn Bridge, all the dust falling out of the sky. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing so many of the stories of people that were just trapped on Manhattan Island and just couldn't figure out a way to get out, and were just pandemonium. Let's see. Not really. Hank Aaron says, cross-country skiing is good. Biathlon looks fun. That is a sport that I would love to try. I love the fact that there's like a penalty box too, right? I don't know why you go in the penalty box. Is it because you miss a shot or something? I don't remember. But the idea, I mean, it's like a marathon competition, because you want to keep your heart rate low so that way your shot is steady, right? So like it's about, not that you have to stay low heart rate the entire time, because then you won't win that way, but it's about being able to ski really well and then like calm your body down so you can be a very accurate shot. I do think that like I love that sport, and I'm like, I don't know why Americans aren't good at that. We should be really good at that. There's an Olympic sport with shooting guns in it. Americans should be great at it, but we're not. I think probably because it requires restraint and precision. 2 things that as culturally we seem to lack. Yeah. Let's see. Someone said they just wore 3-inch shorts for the first time. Where we go? Plant Power Dan says 5-inch shorts is the shortest I've gone. That is still probably my favorite length. Reed Morris wore 3-inch shorts for the first time today. It is liberating. I mean, right now I would not want to wear 3-inch shorts. I don't even want to wear 5-inch shorts. I ran in 7-inch shorts today. But the 3-inch shorts and the 2-inch shorts, they're not, when it's hot out, it is nice. I think it definitely is nice. You get a little bit more sweat, like dripping down your leg into your shoes, but you don't have it as much of it clinging to your thigh. And I just think that that's nice. I like that. JC said, I had my first real run, i.e. outdoors, in the endorphin speeds today. No complaints, felt really good, even in standard width. Looking forward to many miles in these. Yeah, I just think it's a fantastic shoe. I think it can do a little bit of everything, and a couple of things exceptionally well, and everything else like really well. So it's just a real great shoe. Ben Y says, have you tried the Runderwear yet? Yeah, I mean, I have a pair of Runderwear. I don't wear it often because I bought the wrong size and they're a little bit tight. So the pair that or the 2 sets that Ines sent me are the right size, I think, for me. So I'm looking forward to that. And so I think we'll see what the weather does. it's supposed to warm up, but tomorrow might be a little bit chilly. I might put the underwear on underneath some tights tomorrow. The tights that I bought thermal tights. So like I opened them out of the packet and I was like, these seem really hot. I was like, oh, I bought thermal ones. So I don't know. It might be too hot for thermal. So we'll see. But the underwear will probably get some use this weekend too. Let's see. What do we got here? Frank Lahulier says, does the Strava power curve differ from the Stride power curve? I don't think it does. I mean, they're charting the same things, I think. I haven't looked at them super close though, because it takes like your peak power at a certain number of minutes and charts it. So like, I'm not. There has to be some sort of decisions being made in terms of like, oh, does this count as a power number, or is this just like a random like fluke, like a bird was chasing him up a hill and suddenly he burst speed, but it was different. I'm not sure exactly how it works. So I will look at it, but my curves, I was looking at the Strava power curve yesterday, and the shape-wise, it looks very similar to the one in my Stride power curve, but I don't know if the numbers exactly match up. And the thing is, I think Strava gives you some numbers in terms of like functional threshold power, and then Stride gives it to you in threshold or like critical power, and I don't think those things exactly line up. I'm not sure. The numbers did seem to be a little bit different for me. So I'll take another look at that, though. It's a good question. JP says, I have bay leaf shorts, light and little stretch, but I wear the 5 and 7 inch running shorts. It's been nice in the Houston, Texas heat. Oh, cool. Mr. Random said, what do you think the Brooks Catamount is best suited for? I think it's best suited for a hilly workout, like in like dirt roads or some like trails, or if you're going to race. Like a trail race, probably at like an ultra marathon. I would like it for 50K. I've not run anything longer than 50K, so I can't really say if I'd want it for a longer. I mean, just for me, like I can't think of a single shoe that I think would be great for longer than 50K, because I can't mentally. I'm having a hard time getting past the 50K point, so I'm not sure if I would like the Catamount for more than that. But like I like it as a racer. I wish it were a little bit lighter, but yeah, it's got the ballistic rock shield, and the rubber lugs seem pretty stiff. So I feel like it could really take a pounding, and then the DNA Flash midsole is best suited for speed. I feel like whenever you run it in the DNA Flash material at regular speed, you're just like, this is a little bit firm, and I'm not sure why everyone's so excited. But you got to run a little bit faster to make it. Then it's like, ooh, this shoe also activated. It's on. Running with Pete says, happy Friday. We are gearing up for a 5K tomorrow with 70 runners. Ooh, Phoenix is starting to feel nice in the mornings, upper 60s. That sounds very pleasant. Roadrunner Reviews is here. Good to see you. Let's see. Martha says that they can't blame the moldy corn on me. Nope, it's the rain, and I feel like the rain has washed all my sins away, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. Let's see. What else we got? Let's scroll down a little bit. Yeah, Ben White says you got to activate those Brooks. Yeah, I think the DNA Flash, it just needs to be loaded a little bit. Frank Luher says it's not a bad idea to change shoes after 50K even in a longer race. I can see that. I can definitely see that, especially if it's muddy and wet. I think after a while I want to be like, get me out of these. Not really. Hank Aaron says, do you resemble your mom or your dad? I'm like exactly like my mom, and my sister's exactly like my dad. Martha says, the electric blue Hyperion Tempo soles get brighter when activated. I think the electric banana soles of the Hyperion Elite 2 will do the same. Yeah. I can imagine it's going to be like the flux capacitor once you get to 88 miles per hour. All of a sudden, like, bolts of lightning will shoot out the front of them, and then behind you will be, like, little fire trails. That's what happens when you get up to marathon pace in the Elite 2. That's so funny. Oh, man. Cody Wright is here, says, hope everyone is doing well. Thanks, Cody. All right. I hear the baby. I don't know if you heard the baby. She has my mom for the baby's birthday sent the baby both like play makeup and also some real makeup. We haven't been letting her use the real makeup. So whenever she plays with either, because she keeps them in the same set, she always like gives everyone a warning. I'm only looking at the real makeup and I'm going to play with the fake makeup, everybody. Just so you know. She always wants to let us know. I think maybe we freaked out the first couple of times. We were like, what are you doing? So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Right now she's telling everyone downstairs that she's going to play with the fake makeup. Yeah. Martha says, talking about biathlon, Americans would rather wave their guns than exercise the restraint to do that event. I mean, you could do both. I mean, you can wave your guns and have restraint. But I feel like those guns, like they don't seem to have a lot of kickback. And I think they're probably designed not to, so I don't know how big the caliber is, but that is an event that I think would be super fun. And then you would think that Americans would be good at archery as well, because people like bow hunting in this country. But it's not a sport that Americans tend to dominate or even do that well in. All right, let's see what we got down at the bottom. Chanzals says, I just finished up my first round Facebook interview. Cool. Hopefully I can get it, which means I have Alpha 5 for the rest of my non-elite running career. Well, good luck. Good luck, Chan. Hope you get the job. Cool. All right. Matt Frederick says, what's been tough about virtual learning for you/your daughter? I'm a PE teacher trying to teach virtually. Just finished the first week. That's tough, man, Matt. Like doing the PE thing, because then you got to have the kids, like, are you having like the kids get up and do stuff? Because like our space, it's like not really that conducive to that. The thing that's been hard for her, I think, is that I think my daughter is, she's like me, where she's very much an introvert. She'll get chatty around like her like close circle of friends, but like in a room where lots of people are talking, she's not gonna like jump into the fray, and she'll kind of like just withdraw a little bit. And so the kind of like social interactions that they get are like in the beginning of class. You know, everyone's supposed to have their mic muted when you join the Google Meet, but not a lot of people do. And the teachers kind of encourage like for the first like minute or two to be like, hi, I'm here. Hi, everybody. That kind of thing. And then there's a lot of times there's that at the end too, where you get like a minute to say like goodbye to everybody. And so it's just this like chorus of goodbyes. And I don't think she likes that at all. And I think the other thing is, I think just she's not connecting as well when it's the screen. And so I think while she would be like have laser focused attention in the classroom, she's been making a lot of origami lately. And not just the dog origami book that she just got, but like she's been making a lot of origami and making a lot of drawings lately. And so I think that like she's been encouraged at some point by the teachers to like doodle if that's what they need to do. And I think that she just starts getting really into her doodles. So I think like, while I really do like the art that's coming out of virtual learning, I think sometimes it's just it's hard for her to stay attentive to it. Like me, I love screens. And so like I enjoy virtual learning and that kind of thing. And I enjoy being able to do multiple things at the same time. But like I think I would do really well in college right now. But she's not like that. She wants to be around her friends, and like I think she really misses a couple of them, even though she won't admit it. and I think she just wants to hang out and have that connection. I mean, you know, the whole phrase, like, pick on someone your own size. She really hasn't had anyone, like, a contemporary of hers for, like, the last 6 months. She's had her younger sister, who's 4 years younger, and she's had some interactions with some of her cousins that are about the same age, but, like, at a social distance. Like, we'll go to their house and stand in the driveway, and they'll stand back at the front door. But she hasn't, like, had an hour to, like, play with someone else her age in 6 months, and I think that's a really long time. So that's the challenge. So I would say, as, like, a teacher, if there's a way that you can, like, figure that out, I don't know how you figure that out, but if there's a way to kind of solve that problem, and, like, I don't know, like, because I was at a curriculum meeting yesterday, and they were like, is there a way that we can have, like, a time for social interaction with the kids? And then the parent and the teachers were like, well, a lot of our minutes are, like, very highly controlled in terms of what we should be doing during the day. So there really isn't. But if the room parents want to, like, get that together and kind of, like, organize their own, like, meeting, that's something that they can do. And it's not the same, you know. Matt says it's so tiring. We aren't really allowed to require physical activity during the live sessions, and right now we're mainly doing, like, health topics. Oh, in the 8th grade. Yeah. I think with 8th grade, though, then at least you could start thinking about, like, fitness and talking to them about fitness and body changes and body image and other, I guess, things like that, you know, which I think that would be really interesting to 8th graders and it might work. But, like, yeah, I was watching on Instagram. It was on Instagram stories. One of my friends, his wife was posting, like, you know, their kids doing soccer drills virtually because of the fires and the smoke. They couldn't have soccer practice, and so, like, they were, like, in front of a computer in the living room, like, they had it on, like, a credenza or, like, the entertainment stand or whatever, and they were doing, like, soccer ball drills. I was like, this is a weird world. I don't understand this. So yeah, it's hard. And for me, the hardest thing is, like, just juggling the two children, because it always seems like, you know, I want to give the baby time to play, because for preschool, like, part of it is, like, okay, quiet down. When it's time to be quiet, you have to be quiet and listen. That's part of it. The other part is, like, playing in a fun, like, an instructional way, not just giving her screen time. And so, like, sometimes she can do that well, but then when she seems to need me is exactly when my daughter seems to need me. And so, like, when she has breaks, and you know, when I do math with her, she does it really well when I'm kind of, like, there. I think she just likes to have, like, the constant affirmations of, like, yep, She wants the before she writes the number down, and then, like, if she goes, like, too many problems without any of the affirmation, like I don't know, like, what's going on in her brain, but, like, the numbers stop adding up correctly. So, like, you know, that it requires a lot of like, none of it's hard, but it, like, requires a lot of attention, and, like, I don't even know how people do it with more than 2 kids. So anyway, thank you for asking. Martha says, when training for the tunnel marathon, I change shoes sometimes during long runs. I was testing shoes, but boy, it felt good. What would win in a race, time loss or foot relief? Ooh, I think for a marathon, the time loss would be a bigger problem than the gains from foot relief. But I think, you know, when you get to, I mean, maybe at the 50K mark, I'm not sure even. But I like that idea. That's interesting for, like, a trail race, because it's like, ooh, the first part is a lot of climbing and the second part is a lot of downhill. Then you get those weird hokas with the giant the giant activated glutes in the back. Like, that could be fun. That'd be interesting. Yeah, but, like, it's an interesting idea. I do like the idea of, like, more, like, racing, like, foot races with pit stops. Like, there's something about that. Like, I whenever I read about ultras, or even if when you watch, like, a video about an ultra, part of it is that you can't always be on the course, but you know that they're going to come through the aid station, and there's a lot of activity that happens at the aid station. You got to refill, like, or change your vest that you're in, and make sure you have enough water, or rehydrate, putting ice in the gator, like, all that kind of stuff. And you're trying to scarf down as much food as possible. You're trying to get any intel you can in terms of, like, how far people are ahead or behind you. So there's a lot of, like, drama there, and I think that, like, if there are a race where like being able to execute that even faster were a more critical part of the race, I think that'd be an interesting idea. I don't know how you do that though, but then in that case, having like the Nike Fly Ease shoes where they like just turn or like who else makes it? Saucony makes it, where you just turn the thing and then it loosens. I think that's a really interesting idea. Ronan Review says, my New Balance RCs just arrived from Running Warehouse, even though they didn't release until the 15th. Awesomeness. Whoa, that's cool. I didn't know that they were available there. I signed up to get notified from a New Balance on when they would be in stock, but I'm going to have to, I mean, I'm sure if I go look now, they won't be available. But that's probably like the last, well, that and like and then the Rocket X are the ones that I'm still looking to try. But I hope you like those. I'll have to let us all know how it works. Yeah. Franco Lahuler says the 10-9 is activated glutes. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of like, is like just having like, I mean, is it as simple as, I've been trying to think about glute activation and like midsole foams and like carbon fiber plates like in a similar way, and I think it kind of works for me. But then thinking about like glute activation as just like the big heel flare on a shoe, I don't think that's exactly right, but I like calling it that. I think it's funny. Like saying, oh, a new activated glute shoe from Hoka, the 10-9 version 2. You know? I like that. That works for me. J1 Run says, what do you do for a living? Right now I watch the kids. Well, not watch the kids. I help them with virtual school, and I'm a preschool teacher, or like I'm a substitute preschool teacher for the baby. And I make YouTube videos. But in real life, I don't do those teaching. I teach other things, but I'm a litigation consultant. So I help people that are going to trials. Mostly I'm a dude with PowerPoint. So that's a very basic way of saying it. Martha says, what about the Adidas Adios Pro? I forget, did you get that one? Oh, that's a good one. I haven't gotten that one. And I'm not that excited about it because it looks like it's going to be a super cushy, like soft shoe with carbon rods in it. But that's not the impression I'm getting from people. And I haven't been able to find them anywhere. So I just don't, I feel like the announcement was really abrupt and came on the heels of the Adios Pro. There was the Adizero Pro and then the Adios Pro, right? So the Adizero Pro I need to run more on that one. I'm probably going to do the Trials of Miles 5K in that shoe. We'll see. Either that or the Meta Racer. But I've been racing in the Meta Racer. Not racing, but doing like virtual stuff in it. So I'll probably give that Adizero Pro in. But like the announcement was abrupt, and I don't feel like there's been like a restock of them. So I just don't think that they really wanted people to have that one. Ben Y says, I suppose you use your glutes more when you're running downhill fast, so it's kind of right to have a heel flare shoe, I think he's saying. So maybe. Mr. Random says, the Rocket X release date is around October 1st. Yeah, I don't, like an October 1st, I guess though, like if there are, like is CIM going to go? Do people know that right now? I mean, I don't know how you even plan for a marathon, like right now with everything going on, plus like the state is on fire. But anyway, I guess if that's going, then you could be timing that just right. October or November would be a great time to kind of unleash that for those. Or if like, is Houston going to go? Do people know it? I mean, I guess it's too far ahead still. I don't know. Roadrunner Review says, Mrs. RR called asking if I ordered more dang shoes. That's funny. And my wife stopped, like, she's like, oh, more shoes. Okay. She's not really made a big deal out of it before, and she definitely doesn't make a big deal out of it now. So I feel like that's like the thing that she lets me have, which she's been good about it. Hunter Marrow says, how's the glute activation going, by the way? I was interested in your video about it because I had many of the same questions. Yeah, I think, I'm talking with everyone here in the live stream yesterday, talking about like all these like different activations and things to like think about, the clenching and the flexing. Pointing out that it's really subtle, I think kind of helps. But also, I think of it as just like, these are complex systems in terms of the motion of running, and like moving your legs is complex, and it involves a lot of different muscles doing things at the right times. And mine are imbalanced, and so some of them are having to work harder than the other. And then anytime you're doing that, like whether you're running on like a bad ankle or your glutes aren't activated, I always think of imbalances like when someone calls out sick at work. So if you're on a team and there's 5 people on your team and one person is constantly calling in sick for work, that means those other 4 people have to work extra hard to pick up the slack. And eventually one of those 4 people is going to burn out, if not more. And so I feel like that's what's going on here. The knee's just burning out because it's other muscles are having to do more work because the butt isn't doing the work when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to. So that's kind of how I'm understanding it now. I don't know what glute activation means. I don't know about waking up the glutes. I don't know what glute amnesia is. I'm just trying to make them stronger. And I got like one of those exercise bands so I can do like the sideways, like, walking thingy. I really like that. And I'm still doing I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my glute exercises every day. And I'll do my leg strength exercises probably like every other day. So that's what I'm going to go for. And we'll see if it feels better. I feel better. I feel like just like things are dramatically improving the last couple of days. I think part of that is that I haven't been in a Saucony shoe for like over a week now. And the other part of it is I think that, there might be something to it. The other thing that I've also been thinking about is, I mentioned it yesterday, that that example or the idea from that guy Kukuzela, who's like, your foot strike should feel like when you're riding on a razor scooter and you kick, it just feel like you're just pushing along and you're just like gliding along that way. And so that mentally makes a lot of sense to me, and I think about that in my stride, and I feel like that's helping a little bit. Yeah, so I feel like I'm getting some progress. Whether I can completely attribute it to making my glutes woke, I'm not sure, but I'm feeling better. So, someone said, where'd it go? As soon as I wanted to read it. Jason says, got to join live again. Good to see you, Jason. And review on the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2 coming tomorrow. So that'll be up in the morning. Well, I ran in them today, and they were good. I like them a lot. I like DNA Flash. I'm going to try to get them up tomorrow, but tomorrow's Saturday, so depending on what the weather's doing, I might need to just get up and get out and go, depending on when the rain is going to be. But I'm going to try to get out tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Sunday. So, Terrence, who says, CIM Marathon will officially announce future next Friday. Oh, okay. All right. That's a big Friday then. Martha says, my coach is going to text me as soon as CIM decides. It may not be any faster than public info. He's a pacer. Okay. Yeah, if we can figure out in a week. So in a week from now. So on the 18th. J. Mike Remy says, cycling events are happening. Not to not too late to get bikes and train, get out there. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any bicycling events that I've heard of. I forget what it's called, but there's an ultra marathon that happens in this area that was originally going to be my first 50K. So right around when I did the 50K video, when I hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, there was a ultra marathon scheduled for like June, and I was going to do that for like the 50K celebration. That one got moved to just like last weekend, and it actually went. So I guess I could have done it, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. Yeah. So, but I was just like, ooh, it would have been nice. I think that would have been a fun event to do. Lots of climbing in that one, at least for Iowa, All right, let's do a couple more. See, not really Hank. Aaron says, order a giant knife for box opening. I probably won't. I'm just going to cut myself. I mean, I've got like a chef's knife, but I'm not going to use my chef's knife for that. Yeah, Stevie76 says, that's why I hated group projects. Oh, yeah, I totally dislike group work. Definitely, I don't like it. I like just give me my task and then I'll come back. J. Mike Remy says, we have a show and go format. Show up at registration to check in and go ASAP. I like that because then like you get there and when you're ready, just get going. I don't like sitting around. I don't like being all stuck in the corral. I get it, but you know, I might have to try one of these types of events. Let's see. Where was that one go? Reed Moore says, if you run with good form and work on strength, you'll use your glutes. Thinking about it during the run could cause more imbalance. Maybe. But I think that like the way that I'm trying to think about it is just to make sure that I'm not like falling back to kind of like my knee collapsing in a little bit, like my hips, like, you know, so that's what I'm thinking about doing. And Reed says, one good thing can be activating before the run. I've been trying to do that a little bit too, but I don't always do it. My mornings get pretty hectic, so like I kind of forget a lot of times. But I did do some lateral leg swings this morning before I went out on my run. Barrett09 says, can you compare the SL20 to the Boston 9s? I looked everywhere. I haven't really seen anyone compare them directly, more specifically the cushion and the ground feel. Thanks. I think that the SL20 is a little bit firmer. I think they're both pretty similar shoes because they both have light strike in it. The Boston 9 has boost in the heel. So I feel like I prefer it for a little bit wider of a range of paces because of that softness in the heel. But they're both fast in the forefoot because of the light strike that's in there. And light strike, it in a way is kind of like, it's not the same or similar to DNA Flash midsole foam, but it's like a lot of fast speed day shoes that I like, where the foam in and of itself might be a little bit firm, but once you get going, you're loading it more because you're running faster, you're pushing off harder, and so kind of like a stiff suspension might feel really stiff if you're just going to get groceries, but on a racetrack it feels great. So I think of it that way. And so both of it feel fast because it's a similar material. I forget which one has more stack height. I think the SL20 might have a little bit more stack height, but because the Boston 9 has that boost in it, it's a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit more forgiving. Both are pretty speedy feeling shoes though. I think they're pretty similar. They feel different, but like in terms of like the use cases and when you would use them, that's why I've been very confused by the Adidas lineup this year. Because I'm like, they've got so many shoes that are all doing kind of the same thing. So, yeah. Abbas Merchant says, when is the MAF versus power video coming? I mean, I've kind of done one. I've been talking about like training on power versus heart rate versus pace. So there's kind of that. But I think that like, I don't think of them as versus, really. I think of MAF being very useful for when I am trying to figure out what's easy. And then I like power for figuring out, am I running the right level of intensity, where heart rate might take, 15 seconds, 30 seconds to catch up. Power is instant. And so if the interval is only a minute or 2 minutes long, that could be a long time where you're kind of like guessing how hard you should be running. So that's kind of how I see those two. I like to use both of those tools at the same time. All right, let's get one more. Chris Dyke says, when should we expect the 100-mile review on the bike? Is 100 miles that's probably not enough to do a review on the bike. And I haven't been tracking all the miles because most of them are easy. Like I'm just like basically cruising, or coasting is the word. I'm basically like coasting with my daughter around town here. But I've done one workout that was like 20 miles. I would like to do one bike workout a week, but with the weather the way it is, like I'm happy to run in this miserable stuff, but to ride a bike in it, I just think that I would just get instant cold if I did that. So I don't know. How many miles do you guys want to see an update video on the bike? Yeah, Remy, what's the equivalent of 100 100-mile shoe review for a bike? 500? Is that right? Let's figure out that number, and then I'll when I get to that, we'll do that, and I will make a better effort to try and get in like. I'm gonna try and get in like an hour, at least an hour and a half of biking a week. Maybe I could do it 2 days a week for like an hour at a time. I don't know. What's harder is now like I have more of like a structure that I have to kind of impose on the children. So we'll see. Oh, J Mike Ramey says, yeah, I need 1,000 on the bike. 1,000? Oh, you know what? I don't know if this Walmart bike is gonna make it to 1,000 miles. At what point do you change the? I mean, when do you change the tires? I mean, I guess when they get worn down, right? So, All right. Yeah, Martha says I have my biking cut out for me now. Yeah, I got to think about that. I might only make it to 500 for a review of my Walmart bike, but I'm gonna go for it. All right, I'm gonna redouble my efforts and make sure I get some, and I'll only put training miles in there. I'm not gonna count like riding around, tooling around with the family on it. So we'll go for it. All right, that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are safe out there, especially all you guys on the West Coast. Tomorrow we might have the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2 video. If not, it'll be Sunday. In either event, we'll have a live stream tomorrow afternoon, same time. Hopefully see you there. Take care, everybody. What is going on? Can't end the stream. There we go. No?